empathy. Empathy is really something that is relevant in all relationships. Like, are you able to put yourself in the shoes of someone else? Do you know what your customers want? Your team members? Do you know what they need? I would say to develop empathy, listen more, talk maybe a little bit less. Practice.
Learning agility. I would define learning agility as a willingness and as a capability to be open and react quickly to external changes. If you take the examples of a programming language, right? It's not that you know one or two programming languages. It's that you have the ability to learn whatever new programming language will be needed in the future. It's one of the strongest predictors of executive success. And the mindset is we need to be a lot more open and willing to engage with diverse groups of people. Willing to put ourselves into uncomfortable situations that will allow you to learn and to grow.
Flexibility. When I think of flexibility, what comes to mind is the capacity to think out of the box and the capacity to generate alternatives and evaluate them without falling into the default actions that we've done in the past and that have been successful. You better start examining your own assumptions in your life, Ask for advice from people who can't tell you crazy things. And then, stop and think. Flexibility is a no-brainer. Either you are flexible or you die, right?
Lean budgeting. Lean budgeting is about starting from scratch, right? So instead of copying and pasting what we used to do in the past and just keeping the same assumptions and targets, this is about starting from zero. And that requires that people just look at the resources much more in detail than ever. So we cannot have any more a static budget that goes for 12 months and that's the end of the story. What we need to have now is some kind of rolling budgets that can help you just forecast the following 12 months after you've gone through the first quarter of your year.
Data-driven decision-making. Data-driven decision-making is about relying on objective measures to make decisions. The basic skills that managers should have are the fundamentals of statistical thinking. You need to be able to understand correlation, difference between correlation and causation. How can we collect the data and examine what kind of patterns we find there? And you also have to understand how would you actually test to see which causal relationships are the key drivers of the changes you would like to achieve.